Amazon Web Services AWS memberikan tumpuan khusus bagi penyediaan teknologi awan dalam segmen Bank Digital Malaysia. Menurut Pengurus Negara AWS Malaysia, Pete Murray, premis kewujudan bank digital di ASEAN khususnya adalah untuk memberikan perkhidmatan kepada segmen masyarakat yang tidak atau kurang mendapat akses kepada khidmat perbankan. Justru teknologi awan menjadi penyelesaian penting bagi bank digital dalam mencapai hasrat tersebut. Tambahnya, bagi pasaran Malaysia, garis panduan perundangan ditetapkan Bank Negara amat jelas berkait keselamatan bank digital.
I would start by saying I really applaud Bank Negara, BNM. I applaud the approach that they've taken to the framework. I think they've been very, very progressive and very, very prescriptive. So the guidelines are very clear, and that's incredibly important. Regulations, as I said, those frameworks are very, very clear. And what that has enabled a lot of these digital banking providers to do is it's enabled them to move forward with confidence that public cloud technology is the expected standard for digital banking because it allows you to be much more agile, it allows you to be more available, and it allows you to get started at a much, much lower cost point than you can by operating in a traditional on-premise, in a traditional on-premise way. You simply cannot grow and scale the way you can on public cloud operating in a traditional fashion.
Menurut Pete, fokus utama AWS dalam segmen bank digital adalah soal keselamatan dan pematuhan kepada perundangan.
We base a lot of what we've learnt across the world. We take a lot of those learnings and best practices, particularly around security and compliance, and we make sure that we're sharing that information, that publicly available security best practices, white papers with these customers, and we walk this journey with the customers in Malaysia. So our solutions architecture and account, our specialist security architects, our professional services teams are all based in Malaysia, but they anchor on global best practices that we've learnt from the likes of Nubank in Brazil or Monzo in the UK, and closer to home in ASEAN, we've been so lucky and fortunate to work with the likes of T-Nex Digital Bank in Vietnam and Timo Bank in Vietnam, as well as a number of the Philippines-based digital banks. And those learnings, particularly around security and compliance, are consistent. If we're going to talk about digital banking in Malaysia, and it's great, as you said, to talk about GX Bank and their success, we should also say that there's been some early leaders here. BU by Bank Islam runs on AWS. They've been a fantastic customer. Rise by Al Raji Bank runs on AWS. They've been a fantastic customer. And so we're really proud to ensure that we are the best possible strategic technology partner to the digital banking industry in Malaysia. And we do that by ensuring that we've got people, the highest levels of security, of course, in the AWS public cloud, but that we've also invested heavily in specific teams and people who are available to our customers to support them on that journey.
Pete berkata, inovasi seterusnya bagi bank digital di Malaysia adalah adaptasi dalam generatif AI untuk menambah baik mutu perkhidmatan.
Because they're cloud native, because they're launching in the public cloud, the innovation and the speed at which they're going to be able to innovate when we look at generative AI, when we look at the potential applications of Amazon Bedrock with guardrails, their ability to move very, very quickly, I think that's going to be quite interesting to see the way that they're innovating around the customer experience. And I think when we look at customer experience, again, perhaps chatbots that will sort of be more intuitive within the banking application, more sort of prompting customers on spending behaviour and things like that to help with the financial education piece that is very, very uniquely tied to the digital banking space, and financial inclusion relies on financial education.
Beliau berkata demikian dalam temu bual eksklusif bersama Astro AWANI di sidang AWS reInvent di Las Vegas baru-baru ini.